This is London.
There are over 1 million reasons to tune in this weekend.
Welcome to stage 10 of the championship race.
Longines Global Champions Tour of London.
This week, the Longines Global Champions Tour comes to London. Welcome along to the richest LGCT Grand Prix of the season so far, with €1 million in prize money, the best horses and riders from around the world, and a pretty stunning backdrop of the historic Royal Hospital Chelsea, home to the Chelsea pensioners for over 300 years. Not only that, but today is a sold-out show, and we are delighted that you are joining us wherever you might be joining us from, as we have a jammed-packed afternoon of jumping ahead of us. Now, of course, this is really the crux of the season, where every point matters, and one of our riders that knows exactly what that means is Edwina Tops-Alexander, and I'm delighted to be joined by her now. Welcome to London. Lovely to have you here. Bit hotter than you thought?
Well, I sort of predicted it the other day, but it's hot for London, right?
It is really hot for London. Now, we are standing by the Championship Hall of Fame. Now, this is a rider who has won the full season. Your name is up there twice, 2011 and 2012. Can you remember how special that feeling was?
Yeah, it was amazing. Majority of those wins were probably with Ito, and yeah, it was so good. I mean, especially being back-to-back and having that consistency throughout the 2 years was great, yeah.
I mean, tactically, what people might not know about the tour is that only 8 of your scores count. 8 top scores will count towards it. You're about to create your 8th score today. What does it mean tactically to kind of complete this year?
Yeah, like I said, I think consistency is like super important. That's the most important thing, to be able to be sort of up there on the podiums. And to be quite honest, I haven't been on a podium yet, so I'm quite impressed that I'm 3rd. So I've got a lot of work to do, though, to stay up there. And I mean, every venue is different, every ring is different, and I think what makes it so unique as a championship is that you have to be good everywhere, in big rings, small rings, grass rings, like all sorts of rings, all sorts of different environments, weather conditions, God knows what. But yeah, it's full of everything, so I think that's what makes it special.
How do you play it? Because is it easier to record 8 scores quite quickly and improve on them, or is it better to sort of do them as you go along?
I think it's better to do them as you go along, you know, and it's so hard to plan everything. Obviously, you've got to have a right plan for your horse, and some horses are maybe better in smaller rings than bigger rings, or grass rings, or sand. But I would say, you know, take it step by step and just try to get on those podiums.
But as you say, you haven't been on a podium yet, but you've had a fantastic season, and you are 3rd in the championship. You must be pleased at where you are currently at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, I was quite surprised that I was 3rd. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good season. I don't say it's been amazing. I mean, it's been good, but it's been pretty good considering I'm on 3rd position at the moment. But I'm not going to stay up there if I don't do some, you know, better results. I have to be really honest with you. I know what it takes, you know, and I remember those 2 years when I won. I remember at that time, but it all depends on how the rest go. I remember the 9th scores, like 9th place was basically not even counting. So, so that's why I know at the end of the day I've got to push myself a lot, but like it also depends what everyone else is doing. And you know, we've got World Championships in a few weeks, so everyone's probably made different priorities. I'm going to be competing there as well, but my main priorities have been here on the Global Tour, and I've been making my program for that from the Global Tour, which I think are they're the best shows because you're competing against the best riders, so you know what you're up against.
You also know the venues that are coming up. Where do you think you're going to be able to better your 8 scores? Where do you think your sort of highlighter and arena and stage is going to be?
That's a great question. I hope here. I've got Caitlin jumping today, and she's done a few Grand Prix and had the last 2 Grand Prix she's had 2 unlucky faults, although she was 4th a few weeks ago in Falkensvard in the 4-star, or sorry, 2nd in the 4-star. And she liked that arena, so hopefully in a few weeks we'll be back there with her. But yeah, I don't know. It depends how much I'm going to be jumping with Fellow. I've got Sodello there, so yeah, we'll just you know, you've basically got to be good in every arena.
It's really, really tough, but you've got a great stable of horses as well. Edwina, thank you for chatting to us. I think you're 32nd today to go in the Grand Prix, so do watch out for Edwina Tops-Alexander. This weekend has been a big weekend, but the LGCT Grand Prix this afternoon promised to be a scorcher. Let's find out a little bit more about why this venue is so special. Describe London in one word.
Diverse.
Vibrant. It's an amazing city.
I'm going to go for affluent because we're in Chelsea.
I'm going to go for a bit scary because we're from the country.
Modern. Shopping.
One word difficult, so diverse, I would just have to say melting pot.
Cool.
Big.
Exciting.
London in one word. Impossible, really, because London is never just one thing. When we think of it, we think history, tradition, entertainment, vibrance, and timeless. And for 4 days every summer, all of that comes together right here on the banks of the River Thames at the Longines Global Champions Tour. Behind these gates is the Royal Hospital Chelsea, which has been home to the Chelsea pensioners for over 300 years. But this weekend, it has turned into one of the most spectacular show jumping arenas in the world. The world-class sport this weekend is only half the story. When you enter this iconic event, you have the stunning red carpet. And of course, we want it to be fun for all the family and your friends as well. So we've got bars, restaurants, shopping, and endless entertainment to surround the world-class show jumping. Since we're in London, I thought it'd be a good idea to catch up with a local celebrity and one of the top British riders to find out just what it's like to jump here. And it's off on cue. Jack Whittaker is alongside of me. And actually, Jack, it's very difficult for you to move around here. You've already had everyone wanting a picture with you.
Sure, I don't know about that, but it's good to be here. It's always great weather, plenty of people here, so it's good.
What is it like to actually jump here in London? Come with me, we're going to go for a walk.
It's always fantastic. It's like you're right in the middle of Chelsea here. It's an unbelievable location, like under the just next to the pensioners, Chelsea pensioners thing there as well. So it's fantastic.
Do you manage to get out to the village area much?
Yeah, you do bits to be honest. Yeah, like you come you're here all weekend, so you end up going everywhere really.
It's one of the biggest probably villages on the whole tour, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's got such a lovely, relaxed feel to that. Does that kind of encompass what London's all about?
Yeah, exactly. I think especially summertime in London, it's like basically just going to the park, isn't it, and getting a nice drink or going out for the afternoon or something. It's just a really nice atmosphere.
Two questions, two probably sort of similar parallel, but what is it like going into the arena as a British rider here with the crowd?
It's always fantastic. Like they always want to get behind you, and you really feel like they want you to win as well. So it's a really nice feeling.
And then what is it like as a Whittaker?
Yeah.
Does that add to it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's you obviously know when John's been here, and my dad, and even my two other cousins, George and Jim are jumping here this week, and they keep winning everything. So it's a bit of pressure. I've got to live up to the name.
Do you feel that pressure with the name?
Not really. It's more the pressure you put on yourself, I think, because you want to do well and you want to win. So it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, when you're here, you enter in on this amazing red carpet. I think, don't know if you're aware, but everyone we're walking past is staring and pointing at you and saying, "Oh, it's Jack, it's Jack."
I think it's more the camera.
Do you feel a little bit like a local celebrity when you're here?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It's just nice to be able to, when you go in the ring, you know you got that support and everyone kind of behind you.
And again, the iconic backdrop here.
Yeah.
How special is it to jump in front of that?
Yeah, it's cool. It's like nothing really ever you get to do normally. It's completely different to everything else, anywhere else you jump in the world. So it's really nice to be able to canter in the ring, see them, and you often see the pensioners walking around, and they're really chatty and really friendly. They want to talk and get to know you. So it's just cool. It's cool to see.
How competitive does it get between yourself and the family? Do you have a score sheet?
No, yeah, not one that's written down, but everybody's definitely keeping score. George and Jim are in the two-star, and they've been 1-2 every single day, so them two are definitely keeping score.
So you do keep up with everyone?
Absolutely, yeah, sure. Especially with the show, if we're not winning, if I'm not winning, I want Whittaker to win. So
we've been trying to get everyone to sum up London in one word. Can you sum it up?
Atmospheric.
Atmospheric. I think atmospheric is a really good way to end there, Jack. Thank you so much. As always, a stunning place here for the British riders to jump. The crowd really get behind them, but as ever, the crowd get behind absolutely everyone here because we do have the best riders and horses in the world. Well, as I said, the crowd always get behind all of the riders here, but particularly our British riders. And what a crowd we have today. It is a sold-out show today. It's very exciting. As we know, €1 million on the line. Thought I'd come and chat to some of our crowd. These guys have come from a very long way. I'm going to start with you. Where have you come from?
From Mexico.
And you've come just for the tour?
Yes, a wonderful tour.
Who's your favourite?
Edwina, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Really?
Yeah.
Well, listen, these guys have come even maybe one step further. From where have you come today?
Australia, from Bundaberg.
Oh, wow. So you'll be supporting Edwina, I'm sure.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi!
And these are your daughters in front of you. You guys have moved here recently, so quite a good excuse for them to come here.
Exactly, it's perfect. Horses, mums and daughter time, it's perfect.
What about you guys? Who are you supporting?
Edwina. Woo!
We've got a lot of Edwina love. I wonder who else we're going to get some love from. Who are you supporting?
Any of the Brits.
Any of the Brits, absolutely. Yourself included?
Probably Ben Mayer.
Ben Mayer, yeah, well, he's got Point Break today, so he's an absolute dead cert. Coming over here, who are you supporting?
Probably Ben Mayer.
Yeah. As well, we've got some Ben Mayer love. How about you? Who are you supporting today?
I think it will be Ben Mayer, yes.
Ben Mayer. I know you like King Edward as well. What about yourself?
Harry Charles and Ben.
Harry Charles and Ben. We've got a lot of love for the Brits, of course. We're coming here as well. What's your favourite thing about the jumping?
How quick and efficient they can move over the jumps.
Particularly in the jump-off, right? That's quite scary. How about yourself?
Just seeing the horse and riders and just how they work together in partnership, so for the jumps and that. So, yeah.
It is amazing. How excited are you for today?
Oh, very exciting. We're looking forward to seeing Sienna Charles because she's local to us, so be good.
Listen, I know that everyone here is excited. We've all got umbrellas and fans and hats and sunglasses because it's a very sunny day. The course walk is just happening behind me now, and as we said, we've got some superstar riders here, and I caught up yesterday with one of our best qualified riders, Pier Giorgio Bucci. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm Pier Giorgio Bucci, I'm from Italy, and this one is Palliter van der Ranch, bred in Belgium, and he's also now from Italy. I grew up in L'Aquila, in my hometown in Abruzzo, in the middle of Italy. The horses were my dream since I was a kid, as an animal, so I was always in love with the horses, and as soon as I had the chance to start riding, I went to take the first lesson, and from that day I basically rode every day in my life. For sure it was not an easy journey for me, because where I come from there are no horses. Before me there was no one practicing this sport, and was actually a long, tough journey, but for sure it made me tougher, and it made me be who I am today. So I think we give our horses a bit of our character. Yeah, when we stress, they feel it, and so they stress a bit more. And normally my horses are quite calm, I must say. So this season is actually, for sure is a little bit bored, but it's for sure the best season in my life so far. He jumped the first Grand Prix, first 5 Stars Grand Prix in London, in Miami, where he was third, and then was Mexico, where we won. It was an amazing day, and then he was second in Monte Carlo. Was the only 3 global Champions Tour Grand Prix we have jumped together, so it's actually impressive. And it was a long time since I won the last, 10 years ago with Casallo Z in Estoril. And it's just this show how important it is to have a partner like those ones, because Casallo was also a superstar, and then now I found him, which is a dream horse. If you give me a pen and ask me to draw a horse, I could not make it so perfect. So I'm very happy to have it. It's for sure a unique sport because of we can let's say we can. I'm 50 years old now, but I feel like I can have 15 more years to go. You know, when we see our John Whittaker, what he's doing on his age, it's crazy, and he's one of the best of the world still. So it's for sure one of my inspiration, and it's one of the reason why I kept believing until now, and I will keep believing. Palliter is a very cool horse. It's very sure on itself. You can say he has the same expression. Also when he goes and jumps 160 oxer, and he's very fun, because I can feel he has a lot of fun jumping. You know, I can feel when he's in the show he's happier. At home he's a little bit more lazy, That it's a superstar. It's so intelligent. I really sometimes yesterday I said he's like he knows the course better than me. He picks up the next fence like he knew where he was. So he's a real superstar. He's made to win, and I hope I can give him the career he deserves.
And finally, can you describe him in 3 words for me?
My dream horse.
Well, it's lovely to hear PG there talk about his wonderful horse, and ending there with my dream horse. Now, I'm pretty sure another person's dream horse might be Checker, and Christian Koekkoek alongside me won this last year in, I'd say, quite frightening fashion. Was it, you were saying, the fastest jump-off you've ever done?
Yeah, I still have it as that one in my head, honestly, yes.
What was the feeling going around it last year?
Well, I mean, the problem was that Ben was before me, and I've seen him on the stream in the warm-up, and he was so fast. And knowing that the horse is fast, naturally fast from Ben, I knew that it's going to be very, 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 very challenging. So the cards were on the table, and I really had to go all in from the first fence on in the jump-off, and that's what I did. And Checker tried unbelievable in that jump off, and I still remember there was one turn to a vertical, a left turn, which when I decided to do it, I thought for a second, oh, please take off. And I don't know how he did it actually. It was nearly jumping into the VIP tent.
I remember.
That much on an angle. But he still made it look like wasn't a big effort for him. Yeah, and then I knew I was on it, and then I really, really, really went to the last fence, and in the end I was faster. It was an unbelievable feeling, I must say. I was proud.
We were all holding our breath. I don't know how you breathed at all through that. But anyway, it's a new year, it's a new course. You've had a moment to walk it. General feelings?
Yeah, it's a different course to last year, I would say. I feel like it's fair. But I'm quite sure it will be still challenging enough. I mean, we have a lot of prize money, so we all expected that. But I think from my first feeling is that it's a pretty fair course.
Okay. Well, let's walk one of these lines then. This is fence 5 to 6 to the triple. If you can try and walk it and explain to me your thinking as you're going around this line.
No problem.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's give Christian his go into the middle of the fence, of course. So as he's walking here, and this happens every time we walk a course, it's very difficult to talk and walk at the same time. So we'll let Koekkoek just walk this now, and we'll just go out of the way here. And this is to a big triple here, and actually facing the VIP as well. What do you think about it?
The problem was that I had to count my steps here.
It's difficult to multitask. It's okay.
For me, it's very difficult. I'm unable to do that. You can ask my wife for that. But anyway, so the problem, or what means a problem, but this is the first line in the course. We have an option actually of putting a stride in, or maybe staying on a stride less. It walks for me like in between 6 or 7 strides. I have the feeling probably more riders will go for 6 strides, but if you have the option with your horse, there is definitely one to put a 7 stride in here and to come maybe a little bit more quiet in the triple. Especially because we have 2 very tall verticals coming out here, so you might not need the last speed to go in the triple. So I think that maybe a few riders will take the option here and do an extra side. We have not so many options, I would say, around the course at this time. All the other lines are pretty much given for everyone, so this is going to be interesting because you can also use the line. It's not a straight line, which would make it a little bit harder, but you can use really the bending line into the triple to put the 7 strides in here. So it will be interesting to see. Also, we have to see a little bit how that triple is really jumping in the end, and I think that's also what we will look for. So it's for sure, like always, a little bit of a better starting position if you go later in the class, because we can see a little bit how that line actually works out in the end.
Yeah, I want to walk to the end of the triple here with you, because it's actually quite disconcerting the way you're jumping into it. It almost looks like you're jumping into a wall at the end. But do you think this course is going to suit Checker? If we turn the camera around and just have a quick look, because from here it just looks like you're jumping straight into the Longines clock.
It's true, kind of. Yeah. Now when you say it, I can see it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you off there, but it does look like it.
No worries.
But how will Checker fare with this course? Do you think this is, a course that will suit him very well?
I always say so far I couldn't really figure out which course doesn't really suit. It's not that he has some kind of special weakness with something. In the end, he can jump anything. On a good day, it doesn't really matter. So I'm not so worried about anything that we maybe could struggle with. I just hope that both of us are in great shape, because that's what you need to win a €1 million Grand Prix. There's no doubt about that. And it would be nice if we could repeat our form from last year, which is anyway difficult enough. But I had a good feeling on him 2 days ago. When I walked the course, like I said, there's nothing particular that jumps out from me where I would say, oh, that could be a struggle for us. So I have a good feeling. I hope we have a good day, and then we see what's coming.
We hope you have a good day as well, because we want to see another jump off like last year. If I can put you on the spot, having walked the course, how many do you reckon will be in the jump off today?
7.
7. Okay, so that's a fair jump off then.
That would be a good number, honestly. Yeah.
It's a big jump off. As you said, this is the triple. Are there any other lines on this course that you think are going to be the most challenging? Because I know that you said that this is one of them. Obviously, you've got the different options on this line. You are jumping straight over into VIP. Are there any other lines that you think actually might really challenge it?
Well, we have to see a little bit that line on the outside here, the Liverpool Oxa into the double with the vertical in. I have a little flashback to Saint-Tropez, and I know how much struggle that actually causes for the course. But it was a bit of a different situation. The ring was much smaller. The VIP tent was just next to it, and maybe pushing the horses a little bit smaller there. And we only had 4 strides at that time. So now we actually have 5 nicer strides into the double. So I think it's going to jump better than in Saint-Tropez. The last line might be a little bit of a challenge, not really in terms of strides, but we have a proper big Oxer as number 11, and then 4 strides to a really tall plank. That, I think, will cause some problems in the end.
OK, Christian, thank you. I'm going to have to stop you there, because it is now time to head into the action. The Longines Global Champions Tour of London is about to begin. It's going to be a scorcher of an afternoon and a scorcher of a competition.
London, a city that never simply hosts history. It turns history into theatre. Along the Thames, ancient stone faces and a restless skyline, royal tradition meeting relentless modern ambition, and every street that carries the echo of something that changed the world. Today, in the heart of the British capital, that famous energy is focused on one extraordinary stage, where the thunder will not come from the trains or traffic, but from the hooves of some of the world's top horses. Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour. Welcome to London. My name is Gareth Jenkins. This is the Royal Hospital, Chelsea. It has stood here for more than 3 centuries, founded by King Charles II and designed by Sir Christopher Wren, and is still the home to the Chelsea pensioners. Its south grounds bring service, ceremony and sporting courage together. This is a fabulous living momentum that is transformed into one show jumping's most spectacular arenas, and has seen some of the most spectacular winners from Christian Kukuk last year, Harry Charles, Jessica Springsteen and the likes of Scott Brash and Ben Mayer. Many in the field today, including the likes of those at the top of the overall standings. It's an amazing season where we haven't yet seen the same winner in any of the Grand Prix. Abdul Saeed leads from Max Kuna, but the likes of Edwina, Catherine, Zoe and Gilles all can try and close in on Abdul today, and none of the top contenders have yet used a discard score. It is only leg 10 of 15, and with 14 of the top 20 riders on the current LGCT standings here in this Grand Prix, it's going to be a fascinating afternoon of sport for us to enjoy. And will that points table change come the end of today? Big names up and down the field as everybody's pushing into this second half of the season, trying to look for those points and, of course, for a golden ticket as well for the Longines Super Grand Prix that'll take place in Riyadh at the end of this year. What a competition we have got here today. The amazing crowd are absolutely buzzing. This is the moment they've been waiting for. The Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of London. 5-star fences, 1.60 m, and of course €1 million on the line. The richest Grand Prix ever staged in the United Kingdom. And let's have a little look at what Giuliano Vezzani, our course designer, has set out for them down on the arena floor as we zoom in to this brilliant setting here right in front of the famous red bricks of the Royal Hospital. Once again, a home for the Tour since 2017. 13 jumping obstacles, 16 jumping efforts as they begin over the opening fence, and then the course designer begins to open them up, moving up through the heights to 155. Nice big wide open turn, but coming back then away from home to this line of 3 down to 4. The first of the big 160 fences at the post box, then down and over that 155 stretch, and then they've got to push on round the corner, being careful to what is quite a narrow upright here at fence 5, standing at 1.60 m, 5 strides on the curve, sorry, 6 strides on the curve to the double combination here, the double striding first part to the single strided second part. Let's have a little look. In they go. Over 160 by 155. Then it is 11 meters 60, 160 upright, and then 8 meters 40, 160 coming out the other side as well. That Longines combination, 6A, 6B, 6C. Here in London. Moving on, moving up, and keeping a close eye, I'm sure, on the time as well as they roll round to what is the hospital side of the arena and this next related distance. 155 by 160, the violins with the water tray underneath, certainly a fence to be careful of coming away from the in-gate. 5 strides down to this second combination, the double combination at 8A and 8B. Again, 155 on the way in, that single stride at 8 meters 20, and then coming out, a big stretch, a big reach, 160 wide, 155 high, and then again into the next of the turnbacks, the rollback turn, keeping the concentration, keeping the balance. It's a very wide stretch, and then moving into this second stage of the course, one end of the arena down to the other and over that big upright at 1.60 m. They come into what is the final 3 fences, this final line, starting there with the GC fence, 4 strides down over that big upright, and then the big final fence. Lucky for us, number 13. It's a real stretch as well at 160 wide. It's a big final fence. It's absolutely at 90 degrees to the edge of the arena, and all of that in a time allowed of 82 seconds. Giuliano Vezzani, as I say time and again because it's true, he has a remarkable knack of not only bringing out the right challenge, but also bringing out the best in the horses and the riders as they tackle the challenge he has laid out. What a afternoon of sport. This, as I said, is the biggest prize fund competed for here in Great Britain, in the United Kingdom, at €1 million, and it starts with a combination that were on the podium here last year. Peter de Vos in great form at the moment, the man that tops the league at the moment. Abdul Saeed here with a ride that has already stood on top of the podium this season. Plenty of former winners as well of classes on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and of course last year's series champion there, Gilles Thomas with Luna. And there's a man on the move this year, 3 times on the podium and a winner this year, Pier Giorgio Bucci. Keep an eye out for the super talented Italian. Harry Charles, a former winner here in London. Henrik von Eckermann, of course, with his mega King Edward, the horse that took him to that World Championship 4 years ago. The young star, Yali Cass, Dennis Lynch there from Ireland, another winner this year already on the tour in Catherine Eckermann, and of course the 3-time winner in London, Scott Brash, one of the British favourites, and as is another on that list there in Ben Mayer, a 2-time winner here in London before. But Christian Kukuk is back with Checker 47, the combination that took the win in this very arena. The Olympic champions from Paris, they're winning here last year, back to defend the title, something that no horse has yet done in London. Plenty more stars, the likes of Riesenbeck winner Victor Bettendorf and more. There are so many big names, big horses, but it is a big challenge that is coming their way. Wherever you're sat in those beautiful seats up in the hospitality or out in the packed grandstand or joining us here from wherever you are around the world, it's just great to be with you on one of those really special afternoons in equestrian sport when it all comes together for us to be able, look at this, it's absolutely buzzing. They're 6, 7, 8, 9 deep down there trying to grab a view. It couldn't be any busier. The atmosphere from the moment we arrived here on Friday and got going has been like that, and it has been all about coming towards this competition. Let's get it underway. It is the next stage of the 2026 Longines Global Champions Tour, Leg 10, the Grand Prix of London here with €1 million on the line. And the combination that get us started put in a great performance here 12 months ago. It is Belgium that'll kick things off. Niels Bruinseels and the 13-year-old stallion by Chaco Blue, called Chaco's Lando OL. 1 of 10 in that brilliant jump off last year, and he found his way up to the podium. He'd be delighted, I'm sure, to get into the jump off again this year. And certainly he's come close this season with a few 4 penalty scores, but he's changed up his ride this week. He's got 2 former LGCT Grand Prix to his name, from Cannes in 2019 and Doha in 2021. It's been a tremendous part of the tour year on year, and he has the difficult job of going first. To remind you again, 82 seconds the time allowed. Here we go. Wavy plank on that second. A very dark plank above the light-coloured poles brings them round into the upright. 7, down to 4. Big wide open turn. This fence very narrow. Goes on the 6, into the combination. 2 strides, 1 stride, jumps out beautifully. Now down this side on the Royal Hospital Chelsea side. 5 strides, little rub on the way in. It's a big stretch on the way out. He's keeping a nice pace as well. They're running at a speed of 375 meters a minute. What a great start this is turning into. He's still got 3 fences left to jump. One fence left to jump. The time is good. What a start that was. Absolutely sensational. They're back in London and jumping clear from the podium 12 months ago. They get their chance to do it all over again. His opening clear at a Grand Prix this season is saved to his highlight from last season. He's back in London and back in the jump off. What a performance that was from the opening draw. It is the hardest place to be drawn in any competition. You have no reference. You've got to go with your plan from when you walk the course. But in Chaco Lando, he has got quite some horse underneath him. What a starring round that was to get things started. Chaco's Lando, Niels Bruinseels. Belgium with a strong lineup of riders today. And certainly starting in great form as we move on to Sweden. The first of their challengers coming with Angelica Augustusson Zanatelli. Had a tremendous start to her weekend here in London with the performance on Friday when she finished in 2nd place in the very first class, that qualifier for the Grand Prix. Riding Iron Dame's Calvino II Denise Z, the 12-year-old stallion by Calvaro FC. See the absolute focus on horse and rider. All middle's gone. As ever, they do not take much of a touch to fall. Round she comes. strides on that wide open curve. Carrying the 4, doesn't look to be any risk of time. One fence left to jump. Final fence takes a little tap, but that was a good round, even with a score of 4. Sadly, not a clear round. 4 penalties, the final score. Her first Grand Prix start of the year on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Angelica Augustusson Zanatelli. They'll always be disappointed not to have jumped the clear, but you can see she's pretty happy with the way that Iron Dames Calvino II and Yes has gone. It was just that moment, that little rub in front going through the Longines combination, and it was only 1 foot, 1 hoof on the right-hand side that touched the pole. And the team watching on from the sidelines. More chances from Sweden to come a little later on in the draw as we look out across this fabulous setting to another big opportunity for Belgium. Peter de Vos, the former winner here in London, took a tremendous win on the wonderful Mums Toupet de la Roque. He'd love to do it again as he rides today with Primo DV. And of course, last week a massive 5-star win in France with this horse. He's looking for back-to-back Grand Prix wins in that respect. Also looking for his first win of this season. That London result was his most recent win. 1 of 3 he's had in Grand Prix in the LGCT. Primo looking in tremendous form. This 11-year-old gelding by Vigarasui. Time doesn't look to be causing too many problems here today. And Peter there just moving up a gear, doesn't want to waste any time between the fences. Having to push on a little down to the plank, and he's got it wrong. Sadly, Peter's off. Wow, that is not something you would see very often. He's back up on his feet. Horse and rider are absolutely fine, but disappointment for a combination that up until that very moment had done everything correct. And how quickly things turn in this sport from 1 week to the next. You just saw that little moment as he came down over fence 11, where he was just having to put his legs on, just asking Primo to move up a little more. The medical team immediately there. I mean, he's absolutely fine, but of course it doesn't matter whether you walk away. Even then, they're still going to make sure you're absolutely fine. What a shock that is. You rarely would see Peter walking out of an arena. And Primo DV, an absolutely class gelding. But it again demonstrates how quickly things can flip. But let's move our attention to another of the big names from Belgium. And what a day it is as he arrives here in London, leading the way in this season's Longines Global Champions Tour overall standings. And let's remember, last year was the winner of the Super Grand Prix in Prague, as well as taking that win in Cannes. Already this year, he's taken to the top spot, as I say, in Cannes. And what can he do today? Where's the armband as the #1 on the league? Abdul Said. Watham Zazu from Kleshoff, the 12-year-old mare by Zidane, took him to the win in Cannes. Still the only jump-off, though, that he's featured in this year. And he'll know, despite the fact he leads at the moment, the way the points table has sort of materialised with so many different winners this season. We're still yet to see a repeat winner. That every round from London to the finish line is going to be key. They haven't even got into discarding points yet, and that will become an important part of it as they try to improve their results. Not going to happen today on the 4. Pushing on for a fast 4 if he can make it over the line, and that indeed he has. 74.60. You can see the little adjustments that he was making on that final sort of loop of the arena. The disappointment is obvious. One of them, Zazu von Klasov, and league leader Abdul Saeed, finishing on a score of 4. 40 points for a win. Second place in the league currently is Austrian rider Max Kuda. He doesn't start the Grand Prix today, but it certainly will give the likes of Edwina, Catherine, Zoe and Gilles an opportunity to close in on that leading score. Well, 4 have gone, and it almost gave us a false impression to show us the way with that brilliant clear at the beginning coming from Niels Brunseels and Chaco's Lando OL. There are the real stars of this amazing facility, the Scarlet Coats, the Chelsea pensioners. Special guests. We are their special guests. In fact, they let us here each and every year. Moving our attention now to the Mexican star, Carlos Hank Guerrero. H5 Origi Horta. Fifth Grand Prix start for this combination this year. The 12-year-old gelding by Casanova de la Pomme. As part of that line going down over the water tray. This is his 8th start overall of the year. He's still looking for a jump off. Already this course is beginning to share out the problems, as is so typical of a Lugano course. You just never know which fence might fall down. The interesting side of today is the fact the time isn't going to prove to be too tight. So they're not putting themselves under pressure on the clock. But 82 seconds is looking more than generous. But another finish on 4. Mexico, Carlos Hank Guerrero. Riding there with H5, Origi Horta. Gentle again, just clipping it behind. He was pushing on into that distance. When you've got the 5 strides to follow, there's Zoe, who come later in the class. His wife watching on. They had a tremendous day in the GCL here on Friday with the top step on the podium. Our next to go, Germany's first of the day, is Maximilian Weishaupt. Zucchero HV, the 14-year-old stallion by VDL Zarocco Blue. Last year, these two getting into the jump off and finishing 4th in Monaco. It's their 3rd start, though, in a Grand Prix this year, still looking for a jump off. Beautifully balanced all the way. we about to find his first jump-off of the year? We do indeed for Maximilian Weishout and Zucchero HV. He joins Niels Brunsels, and we have the two guaranteed. Round of applause indeed. Germany joining in with Belgium. Beautifully ridden round. He's done it time and again this year in the GCL and now in the all-important individual stakes of the LGCT. He was certainly on his marks. Very happy moment. But, of course, that's only half of the job done. It's the important half at the moment because he's in the jump-off. But Niels Brunsels, Maximilian Weishout, they come back in the same order in the jump-off to which they go clear in the first round. What a treat for this crowd this afternoon. Now, Belgium once more. Family watching on, Nathan Budd's turn. Grand Prix start this year in Paris. Here with Harbini de Talma, the 9-year-old stallion by Oregon de Champs. But pretty settled with their performance here on Friday. Unfortunately, the penny black. The post boxers go down. To see many a good jumping round today that isn't going to get into the jump off. The only 9-year-old. I think there's one other. There are only a couple of 9-year-olds. There's not many in this class, and it's still an opportunity to learn a lot. He was at risk of a time penalty a little while back on this course. I think he'll still be okay with the 82 seconds, but only just. He's certainly got closer than anyone else, but it's 12 as a final score for Nathan Budd. Harbini de Talma, 3 fences down, 80.68 the time on the clock, and we hold fire. Belgium certainly with a lot of riders coming early in the draw with the way it's shaken out here. Get a little look at this first of the fences that went. Even on the slow-mo, you can barely see him touch it. Oh, front right. Little knock. Lovely shot coming out of the combination. Certainly a 9-year-old we're going to enjoy watching going forward, even if today hasn't quite come together for Nathan and Harbini de Talma. Well, the next challenge comes from France. What an amazing talent this young lady has been. She seems to have been part of the top stage of the sport for so many years. Still just 25 years of age and already a former winner back in 2024, winning in Paris under the Eiffel Tower with Dexter de Coughlin, who she rides here today now, this 13-year-old stallion by Milo Carthago. Yassadra. It's in nicely through the middle, out over the last part. Combination that have shown their consistency around many big tracks, including on teams. No risk of a time penalty. Oh, and she's ended up on the floor, on her feet. Just that very instantaneous moment where she pushed in for the stride. Dexter didn't really feel like that he was going to be in the right place, and suddenly the brakes are on, and again Jenny Sada having to walk away. Good luck to those two. She was jumping a beautiful round up till that point. I was starting to think she was going to get perhaps into her first jump off since the beginning of last year. You could see just on that turn there was that little moment where Dexter just kinked his head a little bit to the right, and yeah, then was having to make an adjustment just to regain that connection and control. That's the way it goes sometimes in this sport. Highs and lows, as we all know. What an amazing place. Look how close we are to the River Thames, and then across there to Battersea Power Station, Chelsea Bridge, and the skyline of London beyond. So many people here enjoying themselves, as they have been every day. As we now turn to Brazil, and another young jockey at the age of 21, Luis Felipe Nita de Azevedo, and Pandora Boy Z. One of three who ride for Brazil here today. This 13-year-old gelding, My Presley Boy. We've seen him in a few Grand Prix already this year. The best performance coming in Monaco when he had just the one down and a couple of time penalties. Gets away with a little nudge in the middle of the combination. Can't afford to do that too often. First part down. Plenty of fences left to jump, and he is at risk of time. Coming down towards the last, gets a good stride, jumps it. Is he in on the clock? Not quite. He was at risk of time, and he is the first to have picked up a time penalty. 82.08. Obviously not a huge amount in it. But Luis Felipe Nita de Azevedo finishing on a total of 5. Offence falls 1 on the clock. Ultimately a similar sort of round to Monaco. Brazil have their chances still to come. But that's a young man that we'll see plenty more, as we've already done this year, of him over the remaining rounds of the season. So one clear round from Belgium's Niels Brunseels, and one clear round from Germany's Maximilian Weiss is how it stands at the moment. And next to go, it is Germany, and to one of the world's very best. It is Sophie Hinnes. She rides today with Iron Dames My Prince, this 14-year-old gelding by Silver Star T. She's played a big role in the GCL for Cannes, as she has done for Germany, including medals already in her career, but it's the first part of the combination that goes down, and she's still not able to find her way into a jump-off this season. She's such an exciting rider against the clock, as we saw last night here in London on her other horse. But Iron Danes My Prince is a horse that has been a tremendous part of her stable. Had a bit of time off and came back earlier this year, so there is still that sort of bit of mileage being put in. There they jumped to Risenbeck. It was 4 faults in the previous round, it's 4 faults in this round. The clear will come, I'm sure, for Sophie and Iron Dames, my prince, but unfortunately not today in London. And still we just have the 2 clear rounds. But that is Germany's next challenge there, Sophie Hinners. And it leaves us just with the 2. She was actually a little bit quicker than Abdul Saeed, and though Abdul was pushing on. Although my prince has always been naturally very fast against the clock. We've seen him ridden by Richard in the past. Great effort, but still we wait to find out who else can book a place. He's still smiling. She's happy with the way her horse has gone. Belgium go again. Last year, what a season it was for Gilles Thomas, when of course he came out on top of the overall standings of the Longines Global Champions Tour series. He had the wins in Paris and in New York. He was on the podium in Shanghai, Rome and Riyadh. It was quite some season. Today, he rides Luna Van Het Dinihoff. And he's looking to try and find his first win of this year. Had his first jump off in Risenbeck with Hermitage Cologne. But Luna knows how to win in these classes. She did so when he won his first ever LGCT Grand Prix in 2024 in Shanghai. Oh, just couldn't quite reach. Unusual. Ended up leaving themselves an awful lot to do coming out of that double. Coming towards the last on a total of 8. And last year's series champion, who will have been hoping for more points today to get his challenge back on the way as he looks to try and climb back up the order, but sadly finishing on a total of 8 penalties today. Gilles Thomas and Luna Van Het Dinihoff then for Belgium. Just don't know what is going to happen in each round. Luna got quite quick, didn't she? Which meant she ended up a little bit perhaps deeper than he'd have wanted under the first part of the double on that 5-stride distance, and it then left them with an awful lot to do to reach out over that second part. And then it quite often happens, if you have one down, the next can follow if your rhythm has been broken. So still the 2. And now to a combination that, at least on paper and on form, has got to be one of the favourites starting out today with the season that this Italian has been having. Pier Giorgio Bucci already has his golden ticket to that Super Grand Prix later this year in Riyadh. Already a winner this year with his performance with this horse, Pelletier Vendange. That came in Mexico, of course, after his podium as well, though, in Miami. And you may well turn in as the favourite, but you know, all the stats, all of the history is just that. It's history. It's not what's going to happen on the day. But you can't not mark out a combination that have 3 Grand Prix starts on the LGC Tour this year and have 3 podiums, including a win. That comes as a massive surprise, and I'm sure will be of a frustration to Pier Giorgio. Now, can he play it to his advantage in terms of delivering perhaps the fastest 4? Because he knows the situation he's in right from the beginning. He's not adjusting up through the paces as he goes round this track. Towards the top line. He's kept it to the opening fence going down. I guess makes it even more frustrating, because he's gone on and jumped the rest without any trouble at all, and he's shown what a class act that horse is. But that is disappointment, and that is clear to see on Pier Giorgio's face. He'll blame himself. Pallietier Van Orange, the stallion there, that has been such a sensation in world jumping this year. But then you look at what happened with Primo. Any day is a different day to the last. Yeah, the disappointment right at the beginning. They will have had high hopes coming into today. I had high hopes for him coming into today. But still just Niels Brunsseels and Maximilian Weishaupt are the only two riders that have understood the full challenge so far. As we turn now to Germany once more here in London, and to a lady that has won many a gold in the world of eventing, world champion, team medals at world and Olympic level. Now very focused on the world of show jumping in this elite career that she's moved into the five-star world. It is Sandra Uphoff riding today with Carisi H, this 15-year-old gelding by FRH Quaid. It's her first LGCT Grand Prix start of the season. You do not win in eventing at the levels and the medals to which she has without being one of the best all-round discipline riders in horse sport. Beautifully adjusted when she needed to. It's that constant balance between extension and collection that you need. Those instantaneous reactions from your horse. No risk of a time penalty, and 3 fences left to go. 2 to go. Just this final fence. Oh, and she's got away with a tap of the last to jump a brilliant clear. Sandra Uphoff has delivered a clear round on her first attempt this year. And it gives Germany a second, but what a superb bit of riding that was with Carisi H. An amazing horse. They've got that great relationship that is so key. But as you were watching her go round, you can just see time and again these momentary, just little movements that change how that horse is coming towards a fence when she needs to. And Carisi just completely understands what's been asked. There we go. So we now have 3 through. 2 for Germany, 1 for Belgium, and now to a former winner here in London 2 years ago on a horse called Sherlock. Harry Charles stood on top of the podium here at the Longines Global Champions Tour in London, and he's back to try again after the jump off last year. This time, though, with Ballypatrick Tiberius, this 10-year-old stallion by Coeligria. Now, it's going to be a fascinating round because this is their first 5-star Grand Prix together. It's a horse that Harry only started with at the beginning of this year. He's got a lovely team of horses, as you would expect. And they've been building up towards this. But you've got to find that moment to trust them and see what they do. And Harry chooses to do that in front of the home crowd here in London as he looks to follow in the footsteps of his teammates Ben and Scott, who have won this Grand Prix more than once. No risk on the clock. Again, just shortening up, doing what he needed to do. Now the final line. Time is good. Ballypatrick Tiberius and Harry Charles give Great Britain their first clear. His father Peter watching on. Brilliantly done. He's back in the jump off. He was there last year, he was there the year before, and of course that the year he stood on top of the podium. And I said yesterday, because in fairness to Harry, he hasn't necessarily had the rub of the green. Hasn't always got his way the last few days, but it was always going to be cometh the hour, cometh the man. He certainly always finds a way to deliver on the biggest stage. That's why he's a team gold medalist at an Olympic Games and one of Britain's best. And what a new partner that is. First five-star Grand Prix alongside Harry for Ballypatrick Tiberius, a €1 million Grand Prix on the Longines Global Champions Tour. And he's clear. There they are, Niels Brunseels, Maximilian Weishout, Sandra Arthar and Harry Charles. But it's a case of now who can join them. As we look and turn our attention to a very exceptional talent from the USA. This is Kristen van der Veen, one of the world's top 40. And it's just what we saw happen with Pier Giorgio Bucci. Arriving here with this lovely partner, the gelding Bull Runs Jerry. Very unusual to see the early fences going down with this horse. She's decided to retire, which is a shame. That combination had a top 6 finish earlier this year in Saint-Tropez. She would have been here very much aiming towards this class. But it unravelled early on. She had a very good win just a week ago, actually, in France in a 3-star to get ready for this week. And you can see frustration, you just never know, do you? But that means we hold fire. They're not going anywhere, this crowd, are they? Have you ever seen anything like it? They are crammed into every nook and cranny around this arena. Next to go, a lady that's already been in the top 3 in the class that came a little earlier today. That will have gone some way to boosting the confidence of any rider with the round she delivered on that occasion with Chica. But now Good and Petit is the next to go for Belgium. Here with Seacoast Cavalier d'Or. Combination jump for 4 and a time penalty, just the 5 last time round in Risenbeck a couple of weeks ago in the previous leg of this year's series. That was their first outing of the year. She jumped well here in the GCL on Friday. This gelding by Mesito van Helihoff, the 10-year-old. Right down the middle of the combination, really beautifully done. Gelding giving these fences plenty of height so far. It's got so much scope when jumping those big wide parallels. Three left to jump. Time is fine. Belgium with one of the clears so far. She was close last time round in Risenbeck, and she's got there this time round in London, and what a moment that will be. And a brilliant performance from Good and Petit here to deliver her first clear in the Longines Global Champions Tour in London. She's a tremendous jockey, and you need to be very careful when you're racing against the clock, because she can be tremendously quick as well. But what a Sunday she's having, already third earlier and then delivering a clear round with a superb performance. What scope from Seacoast Cavalier d'Or. Plenty more still to come. And I'm sure we're going to see plenty more clears, but there are already 5 through to the jump-off. There they are, Niels Brunseels, Maximilian Weishout, Sandra Arthar, Harry Charles and Good and Petit, 5 through at the moment. onwards to the Danish star, Andreas Schouw. Last year, this man started in more Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix than any other rider. He's already had a couple of starts this year, including the 4th place in Cannes, but he's not going to get that chance today with such an early fence going down. The horse he's riding is Dark Deluxe, this 15-year-old stallion by Darko. He's decided to retire, unfortunately, with Dark Deluxe. His last podium coming last year when we went to Rabat for the first time, where, of course, we'll be returning for the final leg of the season again this year. But not to be for the Danish rider. It's this ever-present part. He's the first to have had that wavy plank down. Unfortunately, he dropped the higher part. And they are the lightest of light planks. There is just no weight in them at all. On we go to Sweden. Big classes, big money require big time combinations, and in the sport over the last, what, 5 years, 6 years, there have been few that could be potentially classed as big as what these two have brought to equestrian jumping. Henrik von Eckermann is here today with King Edward, the horse that took into World Championship glory 4 years ago, and of course Olympic medals as well. After some time off, coming back earlier this year, and now back in the big time with this 16-year-old gelding by Edward. Of course, a former Super Grand Prix winner. That Super Grand Prix coming, wasn't it, back in 2023, which was actually the last time he won a Grand Prix with this amazing horse. That was in Stockholm. King Edward looking as good as ever. Beautifully controlled, and then just knowing that you have the ability underneath you. King Edward, you can see how much he's enjoying himself out there with Henrik. It's an absolute pleasure to watch. And that is great for all of us, but most of all, it's great for Henrik and King Edward. We get them through to the jump off. Henrik von Eckermann goes clear. One of the great combinations of the modern sport, delivering. His first jump off of the year is going to be here in London. What a performance. And it just adds to the world-class start list that's already starting to evolve for that round against the clock, when that €1 million will be divided up. But there's your list at the moment. Niels Brunsils, Maximilian Weishout, Sandra Arpov, Harry Charles, Good and Petit, and now Henrik von Eckermann. As we turn from experience to youth for the next to go, because this is the youngest in the field in the form of the 18-year-old jockey from Israel, Yali Kass, making his third Grand Prix start of the season after Mexico and Paris with Aubras Crunchy Nut, the 12-year-old gelding by Cardento. His first season on the LGCT Tour. opportunity for him today, up against his peers and being able to challenge himself against the very, very best. What a sport this is. That it delivers an equal stage for not only male and female athletes to compete against each other, but it doesn't really matter. As long as you're 18 or over, you can be competing in these classes. Coming towards the last, he's going to be okay surely on the time. He therefore just picks up the 4, which after the 6 and 9 that he's had so far this season, I think you can see he's on a trajectory that is certainly moving everything in the right direction with Oprah's Country Nut. Just the one fence down today, inside the time, learning every time and getting ever closer to giving himself his first LGCT Grand Prix clear. But at 18 years of age, he's got plenty of time on his side. Well, the next to go will in fact take us up to the halfway mark in this first round of jumping, because we will then take a little breather for a little bit of arena maintenance, and this is a great combination to take us into the break as well. Dennis Lynch and Cordial, a 17-year-old stallion by Casal out of a Chicago Z mare. In the jump off last time out in Risenbeck when they finished in 4th. Paris on the podium, finished in 2nd. And that's just this year. Remember the end of last year, back-to-back podiums in Rabat and Riyadh with 3rd and 2nd. Jumped a brilliant clear to get qualified with his performance on Friday. The combined experience that these two have would suggestively probably outweigh the rest of the grid. To be careful of the clock. You can see there though, he is aware he needs to just keep things moving on the corner, keep Cordial moving forward. Needs a lot of power coming out, but Cordial almost just does it with such grace and ease. Is he about to join yet another jump off in the Longines Global Champions Tour for 2026? He is indeed. What consistency those two continue to bring to the Grand Prix. Jumping off in Paris, jumping off in Risenbeck, and now jumping off here in London. That's quite some story for Cordial. Brilliantly done as ever. Dennis and Cordial just have that total understanding. And when it comes to those big wide stretches, that stallion just all makes it look so very, very simple. Wow, what an opening half it has been, and a magnificent 7 clear rounds already, with still 20 to come forward in the opening round. But there is the lineup at the moment. Niels Brunsels, who gave us the clear from the very first draw. Then Maximilian Weishaus, Sandra Armada, Harry Charles, Gudrun Petit, Hendrik von Eckermann, and Dennis Lynch. That's the lineup so far here at London, and what a jump off it's already giving us. There's plenty of stories of those that didn't quite get through, but we've got to concentrate on those that did and those that still have the opportunity to do so as well. As the arena maintenance well underway down there, we get to look at those that are already through. On the podium 12 months ago with this now 13-year-old stallion, Chaco's Lando OL. Niels Brunsels finding his way into his first jump off this year And now aiming for the podium once again, although he will be first to go in that jump off against the clock. The star from Belgium will be looking to rise high once again. What a way to start this Grand Prix. Maximilian Weishout was delighted with Zucchero HV. The experienced Holstein Stallion by VDL Zarocco Blue, giving Germany their first clear round and making sure that he will have a part to play when it comes to going against the clock. As will this lady. Her first jump off awaits Karici H and Sandra Uppath, the German star of equestrian sport, showing she's just as good at the top of show jumping as she is at the top of the world of eventing. Harry Charles, a former winner in London, is back in the jump off as he has been for the last 2 years. That with Sherlock, who won here 2 years ago. This year, though, on a horse jumping in its first 5-star Grand Prix alongside Harry, Ballypatrick Tiberius. And what a start to that journey it's proved to be for the young British talent, as he gave us that clear. We were not done, though, were we, in the opening half? And Gudrun Paty, quite brilliant again. Seacoast Cavalier d'Or, that round meant everything to both of them. She's had form on her side ever since Friday. It all just seems to have been going rather well for Belgium's leading lady so far in this competition. And then to this man and this horse. Absolute great round from a great combination. Back at their very best, Henrik and King Edward. And then came the two just before the break in the form of Ireland's Dennis Lynch and Cordial. Back in a jump off for the third time in a row here this season on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Consistency is great. Well, there's the order and there's the lineup. They come back in that order in the jump off against the clock. So Niels Brunseels, he was first to go in the first round, will be first to go in that jump off round, and obviously those that are yet to go clear will still join them. But who else in that lineup of riders and horses is yet to get through? To remind you, we get €1 million on offer here this afternoon as we zoom in over 3 centuries of history. The famous Sir Christopher Wren designed Royal Hospital Chelsea. The red bricks for the red coats, the scarlet coats of our Chelsea pensioners. And this venue where we have been enjoying their welcome since 2021. And of course, London has become an ever-present part and will continue to be an ever-present part of the Longines Global Champions Tour, with that contract here at the venue getting extended into the 2030s as well. So looking forward to continuing, as it has always been, to be such a popular part of the tour. It's an absolutely, you know, it's the place to be from a social point of view. It is one of the hottest tickets in town, even if it wasn't as warm as it is today, and it's certainly warm, as it has been for weeks and months here in the UK. Can't remember the last time we saw rain. But it is one of the tickets to get, to come here on the weekend for the LGCT, but especially on Grand Prix Day. What a sight that is, looking out at the London Eye and that famous skyline beyond of St Paul's Cathedral and more, as we now look back and focus our attention in to what is most important to us. It is, of course, the second half of London's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, and how we turn back to another of the big names from Germany, and a lady that starts today in 4th position on the overall standings of the Longines Global Champions Tour this year. We'll be hoping that she can begin to make up some points on the leader, Abdul Saeed. It is Katrin Eckermann, started the year in fine style with an absolutely brilliant win in Miami on the beach back at the beginning of the year, a venue where she has become accustomed to winning, and then went on to Mexico just a week later and delivered second place. It was quite a start for the German star. Now today in London with Iron Dames Cascajal NRW. The 9-year-old by Casalco. Second Grand Prix outing for this ride this year after Monaco. The win and podiums coming on Iron Dames at Diablo Blue PS. Miami this year was her 4th LGCT Grand Prix win, and of course got her a golden ticket right at the start of the season to go to the Super Grand Prix. But it's just been amazing this year with 9 rounds gone, 9 different winners so far. But not to be a repeat today for Catherine. I think she's going to retire. She knows her chances faded once the fences have gone down. With the 9-year-old there, Iron Dames Cascadel NRW, it's certainly more of the horse looking to continue to learn at this level. And I'm sure we'll see much more of Deal Blue PS over the legs ahead. But it means we start and stick with those 7 clear rounds, as the focus now will turn to the Egyptian rider, Sami El Dahan. He knows how to win big Grand Prix. His first, though, LGCT Grand Prix start of 2026. Great to see him now coming in as part of the tour. On the left there, Joanne Sloan-Allen, who has bred this horse and, of course, has been a tremendous supporter of Sami, as their partnership has given him these chances. He rides today with WKD Balou Breeze, the 12-year-old mare by Balou de Rouet, Irish mare. Lots of opportunity ahead. That's the focus in on the first fence. And at least that one's out of the way. We've seen it cost a couple of the big names already today. But it's the second fence that goes down for Sami. Very much a course that he's sharing out its issues and difficulties. It's a shame he's on the 8. He dropped a couple of nice rounds the other week in Valkenswaard on the summer tour there prior to coming here to London. Certainly not at risk of any time penalties. We know that time allowed has proved to be more than comfortable at 82 seconds. Three fences fall. Total is 12. Sami El Dahan there for Egypt with WKD Balou Breeze. Was he getting? What was he getting handed back? Was that his sunglasses? It was his sunglasses. Yeah, he started with glasses, and then at some point I didn't actually notice when they went. I can understand why they do ride with glasses, because the reflection you get off this arena surface when the sun is really beating down is quite something. But it does hide their eyes, and it's always nice to look into the eyes of these riders, because you can tell quite a lot. I'd be surprised if this next man's wearing glasses. He doesn't often do so. And he's certainly got an eye for a stride, as we saw again yesterday evening on the magnificent Hello Jefferson to take the big win on a Saturday. He knows how to win in London. He's done it more than any other rider in this Grand Prix. A 3-time winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Here it is Scott Brash, the British star, that goes next today with this beautiful, lovely chestnut mare, the 11-year-old Hello Folly by Louis Dam, that Scott has very carefully been producing all the way up to Grand Prix level. Scott still, though, looking for his first big result of this year. He had those 2 wins on Chadora Lady last season in Shanghai and Saint-Tropez. As a rider, he has 14 wins in Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. There is not anyone that has otherwise done that. the most mighty jump and athletic body, the way she uses it to get over these fences. Gentle little touch, but he now knows he's 3 away, but the thought just turns to the next fence, then the one after. He just has one final fence, and Hello Folly makes light work of that one, and Great Britain get their second clear round, and Scott Brash joins teammate Harry Charles in the jump off. Hello Folly, what an amazing mare she is. She is quite outstanding. And it's Scott's first trip to the jump off in quite a while. And now he's got his chance with Hello Folly in London to make it 4 wins. Stanley Van Passion there watching on from the sidelines. Of course, you got the likes of Harry going for 2 wins today, but yeah, can you imagine what it'd be like to win 4 at the same venue? Well, there's the order, there's the lineup. Scott's the latest of them, and he's a decent way down the order, so at least he'll know where he stands at that stage. Now the turn of Brazil's next challenger, Eduardo Pereira de Menez. H5 London time. Fourth Grand Prix of the year they've qualified for. Gelding by Hummer time, now 10 years of age. Doing a great job in the early stages of this course. Quite a quiet week in a lot of respects. It's as if everything's been saved for today. But if you're going to ride a horse called H5 London time in London, that is the sort of round you want to go and deliver. Eduardo, well done. Brazil through. London time is on time, 77.74, and that jump off is growing nicely, up to 9 clear rounds as the Brazilian star joins in the mix with still 16 combinations to go in the opening round. London time almost having time to look down there at the fence below them as they were going up and over it. Never got close to any of them. Brilliantly done. High fives. There's Carlos there watching on from the sidelines. Eduardo booking a place in the jump off. Belgium, Germany, Great Britain, Sweden, Ireland and Brazil with riders through. Now Germany looking for another with Marco Kutscher. Riding today with Piquier Lemar NRW. That one fence down in Monaco in the Grand Prix. He's put together some brilliant GCL rounds for Riesenbeck this year. Of course, a championship medal winner for Germany. A rider with a quite brilliant career behind him. And still at his very best. This 11-year-old gelding by Los Angeles. Well, are Germany on target here to find their 3rd clear round? No, They're not anymore, and it's not a fence we've seen cause any real trouble. But it's just the gentle little touch, that front rail rubs and rolls, and down it goes for Marco. He's into 12th place as it stands, on a 4. Oh, he's at risk now, dropping lower down the order. He's not got his chance. A little shake of the head, the frustration he'll feel immediately in his head. No, he was just perhaps a little bit too close, but it's such a fine judgment. He wouldn't have really thought at the moment he would have been able to do much more. Really, it's just bad luck for the two of them. Sadly there for Marco Kutscher and his ride, Piquet Lemar NRW. So Germany holding fire with the 2 clears, but still have another chance or 2 to come. Now to the Greek star, Ioli Milanateou. Winner last year on the Longines Global Champions Tour. But not today. The Greek star has had a couple of outings on the Grand Prix this year, and it's been a shame again, just one fence getting in the way of that chance in a jump off. She's jumped some lovely rounds with her horses while she's been here in London. Casanova, hashtag DWB, this stallion 13 years of age by Kuzmio. Trying to keep it to just the 8. Coming down the final line with 1 fence left to go. Ioli then over the last to indeed finish on an 8 penalty score. Best of the 8s. That drops her down into 18th position there for Ioli Milanateou, the Greek star, with Casanova, hashtag DWB. And the fault came early. He'd been aiming for the low part of the wavy plank. Just having a little look here, just didn't get high enough. Sadly. Absolute focus. It's much better when they're not wearing glasses and you can look in the eyes of these riders as we look down on London and think back just for a very brief moment to 12 months ago here at the Royal Hospital, Chelsea, to what happened in a classic jump-off battle that went the way of the German great and Olympic champion from Paris, Christian Kukuk, and Checker 47. The combination that took the individual Olympic gold came to London last year to rise to the top of the podium, and they're back to defend the title this year and arrive after a 3rd place and podium just a couple of weeks ago in the previous leg of the LGCT Tour in Risenbeck. What can Checker 47 and Christian do today? 16 now, this gelding by Comme il faut. 2 former London Grand Prix winners already in the jump-off. Are we about to get a 3rd? It's a way of a gentle little tap there. His jump-off performance last year was something special when he beat Ben in that race that came down to about a 1/10 of a second. Could it be that once again Checker rises to the top in London? It is indeed the clear round for Christian Kukuk, the defending champions and winners of the Grand Prix here from 12 months ago. Checker 47, Christian Kukuk, no combination, as in no horse has ever won twice in London and defended the title. Could that change this year? What a lineup. The Eeps just looking better and better. Checker, Folly, King Edward, and so many more. Well, next up, it's another opportunity for Belgium and a rider that starts out today 5th overall in the current Longines Global Champions Tour standings. Was on the podium, top step in the GCL here on Friday. Will have certainly started her week off in a very good way for Zoe Hank-Conter. Was in the jump off back at the beginning of the year in Miami. Riding here then today with H5 Chakapani, the 15-year-old mare by Chaco Blue. This combination twice in the jump off last year, both Shanghai and Cannes. Lovely little bit of riding and working things together in the middle of the combination there. They had to adjust, find that room over the middle part. It's the 4th time she's ridden Chakapani in the Grand Prix this year. Of her 7 starts so far, it's been 1 down each time in those rounds up till today, and it's again 1 round down. Oh, that golden plank hadn't yet fallen all class, and there it goes down for Zoe Hank-Conter as she gets to within a fence of the final fence before the problem comes her way. And still we sit then with those 10 clears at the moment, which actually is a repeat of last year at the moment. Bad luck, Zoe, still a score of 4. You still pick up points down the order, which again will help her in terms of her putting together a championship challenge. But when you start to get into the jump-offs, there's Carlos, her husband, watching on. Yes, we understand that. Frustration from her side. Well, a dozen more still to jump in the opening round of this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of London. And now to this young British star who has been going so well here this week. She was clear earlier today. There's her sister watching on. This is Jodie Hall-McAteer and Le Gambardie. Jodie already twice in the top 3 in 2 classes in the 5-star already this week, with the 10-year-old mare now one of 3 British riders still in this first round to go. This mare by Van Gogh. Combination out the way, but there is a lot of this course still to jump. And that's down both parts of the double, sadly, fall. Push on a little bit to get in there. She was always going to be in trouble at that stage. 12 it is as a final score. Bad luck today to Jodie, but what a week, or weekend perhaps is the better way of putting it. She can go home proud with 2 top 3 finishes. She's a great talent. She's done a lot on the tour in the past. She's concentrating on British teams at the moment. A lovely team that she's building up around her, but Jodie Hall-McAteer finishing on a total of 12 with Look Up ID means that still 2 Brits to come for this crowd to hopefully cheer through to the jump off, but 2 already through for our hosts here in London. It is so tense when you're watching from the sidelines. Now, Ireland. 1 clear already for Ireland, of course, coming earlier just before the break with Dennis Lynch and the beautiful Cordial. Now their next chance sits with this young star, Harry Allen. Harry riding here with Edison de Huss. His first Grand Prix start of this season. 25-year-old Irish rider. With this 12-year-old gelding by Conrad. He's already been a winner on Irish teams this year, and jumping some brilliant rounds at 3 and 4 star. Jumping a brilliant round at 5 star at the moment in this €1 million Grand Prix. He's been a winner ever since he rode ponies, but today is not his day. And that final line becoming expensive for a few of the recent riders, and he finishes on the 4, drops down as he ends on a time of 77.51. Of course, the numbers on 4 beginning to rise and their time becoming relevant. So sadly not his day either. Ireland, though, do have 1 clear round. And that came, as we know, from Dennis Lynch and Cordial, and they'll certainly stand their chance to do well in this next round against the clock. 10 more to go in the first round of this LGCT Grand Prix here in London. And now to another of the former winners in London, a 2-time winner in London. Great Britain's 3-time Olympic gold medal winner. 3 LGC titles as well. Ben Mayer, of course, has the most remarkable number of LGCT Grand Prix wins, including a Super Grand Prix in 2019. Rides today with Point Break, who last year got into that head-to-head battle in the jump-off with Christian Kukuk. In the end, Ben had to settle for second, but he was only about 0.2 of a second off the win. In 2013, when we were over at the Olympic Park for the first time, the Globals came to London that year on salary. Won in 2019, of course, on Explosion, and he's now chasing Scott to be a 3-time winner on London. But he won't have that chance. Unfortunate for one of the former winners, with so many of those that have won it before getting through, but Ben Mayer comes undone going into that final line with Point Break. The stallion, the 12-year-old by Action Breaker for the world number 5, finishing on a score of 4. And that means we still sit on 10 clears. And talk about advantage Christian Kuka, because at the moment, last year's winner is sat there in the prime position of going last in the jump-off. 9 more still to go. Stanley Van Passion, of course, who's heavily involved with the British team, watching on. Next up, Australia. And a lady that is a 2-time winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour title and another winner, in fact, the inaugural winner of the LGCT Super Grand Prix back in 2018, and currently sitting in 3rd place on this year's tour standings, Edwina Tops-Alexander. Riding today with Caitlin van der Heffink, the 11-year-old mare by Chaco Blue. Nine career wins on the tour, alongside that LGCT Super title and the title of 2-time tour winner. Can she get down this final line? One fence has got in the way on each occasion that she's tried for the jump-off so far this season. 2 fences to go. And that is a great round of jumping from one of the Longines Global Champions Tour's best. Edwina Tops-Alexander delivers a clear to put her through to the jump-off. And perhaps in touching distance of her first Grand Prix win since 2023 in Madrid. And again, for a rider that sits in 3rd when 2nd isn't starting today in the overall tour standings, and the leader is out on a score of 4 in the opening round, it means that she stands an exceptional chance of picking up a decent helping of points, and whatever happens, she's going to cut in to Abdul Saeed's lead. Whether she can pick up enough points to push herself ahead of Max Kuhn, that you would have to think is a strong possibility as well. So a big day and a big round for Edwina. And this is the time of the year where you need to be delivering those rounds if you're starting to mount that challenge, when it's been so many different winners this season. And it quite looks like we might end up with a different one here today. But let's see what happens. But Edwina Tops-Alexander giving herself a chance on Caitlin van der Heffink. It is time now for a man that often is the quickest on time, Emanuele Guariano. Last chance for Italy. Chalus Love PS. Former winner some 10 years ago on the Longines Global Champions Tour in Monaco, but he now want to get his stirrup back before he jumps the next fence. He's having a little bit of a problem there, but I think he has found it again. You don't want to be jumping these fences with one pedal if you can help it. It's 14-year-old gelding by Diablo Blanco. Last line. He hasn't been in the jump-off since Riyadh at the end of last year. His 7th start of the season. Time is getting tight. That stirrup loss almost cost him, but he's safe and sound as he crosses the line, and one of the fastest riders over any course of fences is through to the jump-off, and he's going to have a late draw. Emanuele Guariano is clear. He'll be grateful that the time allowed in his first round today is a little bit more comfortable than sometimes it has been, because he got inside the eventual time allowed by just 0.4 of a second. But he had to give up an awful lot of time when he landed over fence 4 with just one pedal, and then he was doing all he could to try and find it again as he came round to fence 5, which he did manage. It's a great bit of recovery riding. Well, Italy have got a part to play, and this jump-off just gets bigger and stronger. €1 million. There's a long way to go before we find out who's going to stand on top. There's the lineup as it stands. Beginning with Niels Bruynseels all the way through to the latest, the 12th of the clears, and Manuele Guardiano. 2 more than last year. And now, 7 to go. On to Brazil as the next to come forward. A relaxing afternoon for all that are enjoying it wherever you're sat. I hope you are as much as I am. Now Marlon Zanatelli. Marlon, of course, a former winner on the tour back in 2022, would like a diamond in Paris that year. Today, the Brazilian rides Parcerio de Bolaciers, the 11-year-old gelding by Oregon de Champs. Oh dear, what a shame. Just ended up too far forward, which has become the problem for those that have been caught out at the beginning of that double. He was looking for his first jump-off appearance since Rome last year. Comes to the end on a not his day, unfortunately, for Marlon Zanatelli. Brazil, though, do have their one chance in the jump-off coming earlier from Eduardo Pereira de Meneth, and H5 London time. Parcerio de Bolaciers there, the 11-year-old, on a eventual score of 8. And taking us now into the final 6. Sort of teetered on the edge of the cup for a moment, didn't it, that pole? What a great place to be sat as well, down in that open stand, which, as you might well think, well, I'm in the sunshine, but look how close you are to the actual horses and riders as they come down live. I mean, getting that close to the live entertainment, the live action, is just something special. So, as I said, there are 6 to jump. Great Britain, Switzerland, Germany, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and this partnership for Belgium. Belgium now looking for their 3rd clear, trying to perhaps match Germany in the jump-off with Annelies Wilsemans, riding VDL Kelton. This 11-year-old Dutch gelding by Babalu VDL. Got 2 lovely horses. We've seen Trezeguet here this week as well. She's jumped both Kelton and Trezeguet in Grand Prix already this season, but not yet found that elusive clear, and it's still elusive. She couldn't get her way to the other side of the second part of the double, and it's ended up throwing her wide on this turn back as well, which might just open up a risk against time penalties potentially. Belgium will have to stick with the 2 clears of Niels Bruynseels and Gudon Paty. Decides in the end not to cross the finish line with those fences down. She actually makes the decision to retire there with VDL Kelton. Bad luck, Annelies. Great to have her here with us in London, but just not gone her way with that 11-year-old gelding, which means we're down to the final 5, sitting on the 12 clears. I have a sneaking suspicion we're not done with clears either. Obviously, I've got the list of who's still to come in front of me. If you're not as lucky as I am, then you might wonder why, but at the moment, any of the final 5, when you would look at them on a start list, you think, well, they could go clear. Well, 12 of them have managed to work it out now to the combination that try next. Victor Bettendorf today with Quando van der Ispen, the Luxembourg rider, is not going to get through, which is disappointing for all of us. He's one of the most exciting riders against the clock, and of course disappointing for him as he arrived here as the most recent winner this season, taking the honours last time out in Nisenbeck on Gibbs and Prince. But he's not going to do the double. Of course, himself a former winner as well of the Super Grand Prix. Had a brilliant battle last night here in front of a packed house in the 150 jump off against Scott Brash. Ended up coming home in second place that day. And he finishes on a score of 4, and it is the fastest on 4. He's such a naturally quick rider. But the winner from Risenbeck missing out here, so sadly not to be. And still at the moment, Manuele Guardiano is going to be the last to go against the clock. Is that going to change, or are we going to find another clear? I still think we can, but whether we do, just having a lovely look at the replay. Well, onwards we go as we look down across London and the South Grounds here at Chelsea. From afternoon tea in the hospitality, Gilles Thomas, the former winner, the Tour winner last year, up there at the moment watching on. It is to Michael van der Vleuten for the Netherlands, of course an Olympic individual medalist with this amazing Beauville ZNOP. First time we've seen Beauville in a Grand Prix this year since Miami. But what a combination these two can make. Michael, who has 4 LGCT wins to his name. To the double. Beauville looking as strong as we've seen. Now 16 this gelding by Bestique. It has been one of the most magical partnerships for the Dutch and for this rider, one of the greatest horses in his career. Coming down towards the last, and surely it could well be. Indeed it is. Big time round once more from a big time combination of Beauville ZNOP. Michael van der Vleuten clear all the way. The Dutch move in to pole position as the last to go in that round against the clock, and that is a real contender. Superb performance as he delivers that clear and gets himself through to the jump off. Could it be his day? It's going to be really tough if you're one of the early ones to go, knowing the powerhouse partnerships that are coming later in the draw. It is going to be quite some round against the clock. Well, there are 3 more that will want a part to play, with Germany, Switzerland and Great Britain still to go. Michael looking pretty relaxed. Next up, it's the turn of Germany's Christian Ullmann. Germany, as we know, already have 3 through. This man, known stranger to winning Grand Prix, having 8 in his career on the LGCT Tour. Today, Christian Ullmann is riding untouched LB. Had that podium in Monaco when he finished 3rd with untouched just 2 legs ago. Coming down to this line at the bottom. Gets away with a little nudge. He's a rider that's never won in London. Of course, he's twice won in Paris, twice in Hamburg over the years. Part of those 8 wins. His last one coming on Mandato back in 2023. And there indeed surely is another through. Christian Ullmann, untouched LB, once on the podium already this year, looking for another chance to climb onto those podium steps. It could well be. Brilliantly done, Christian Ullmann. I mean, I just can't get over the way that these horses and riders have been performing today. This is a sizable challenge, 1.60 meters. It is a €1 million prize fund. It is the biggest prize fund ever competed for in the United Kingdom. And at the moment, 14 of them are coming back against the clock, and there are still 2 more with every chance of doing so. The first of which is the Swiss rider Nadia Peter-Steiner. Riding then as the first of the final 2 with clear round, second Mondo, clear round, sorry, Il Mondo, because it's by Comme il faut, this 10-year-old gelding. Last year climbed onto the podium in New York with her 3rd place, riding nice. Still though looking for the jump off this year. I think what we can also assimilate quite quickly as well, because of course 14 clear rounds so far. This is leg 10 of the season, and none of these that are going to be or could still go through. Oh, and it won't be Nadia, but none of those through have won a Grand Prix this year, so we're going to see our 10th different winner in 10 rounds, proving just how close this year's LGCT Tour is. Lovely horse, but unfortunately coming home on the 4. Clear round, Il Mondo. Oh, and the last. And the last doesn't cause too much bother today. But Nadia, with the second fence down, ends up on a total of 8. Sadly, not her day. So still at the moment, the last to go in the jump-off will be Christian Ullmann. With untouched LB. Unless the last combination to go in the opening round can change all that. And they might. You wouldn't think they can't. Well, there's a big cheer ringing out around this as we watch the replay there of the last going down from Nadia. And the last to go, obviously, rides for Great Britain. Her brother is already through to the jump-off. Can there be a second member of the Charles family joining the biggest of stages? Sienna Charles and Chawton, recent winners on the British team in Rotterdam. Sienna today with this 12-year-old stallion by Typhoon S. Jumped here last year, just had that one fence down. This is her first start in an LGCT Grand Prix this year. Sadly, it is not to be. And indeed, that jump-off locks in with 14 clear rounds for that €1 million prize fund. Riding so beautifully as well, but as is the story for plenty, one fence has got in the way of it being a clear. It isn't to be this time, it might well be in the future. But just the one member of the Charles family through to the jump-off. Bad luck there to Sienna Charles and to Chawton as the last to go in the opening round of this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here in London. Well, what a lineup and what a jump-off that has been served up for us here this afternoon. I have no clue who you would want to try and mark out as a potential winner here. Of course, you'll all have your own favourites, perhaps I do too, but either which way round, it could go to any of them. It really could. Let's have a little look at that lineup and the clears, the current standings after the opening round. Niels Brunsels, Maximilian Weishaus, Sandra Uphoff, Harry Charles, Gudrun Petit, Henrik von Eckermann, and Dennis Lynch and Scott Brash. Two riders, of course, on that list have won this class before, Harry and Scott. But when you add in the likes of Cordial, Hen Edward, and those that go before, of course, Niels, who'll go first, was on the podium here last year. Brazil's challenge with Eduardo. Last year's winner is back to try and win it again. Christian Kukuk there and Checker. Edwina Tops-Alexander has a massive opportunity to pick up a big helping of points here this afternoon in the overall standings. Manuele Guardiano, Michael van der Vleuten, and then the last to go in the jump-off is going to be Christian Ullmann and Untouched. It's going to be a race all the way through to the finish. Full marks to the course designer. He got it absolutely spot on. When you look down that lineup, they're all clears, 4s, 8s and a couple of 12s. It really has been a tremendously well thought out challenge here from Emiliano Vizzani. He will now go on and prepare that jump-off track, which is going to make the difference and decide who is going to stand on top of the global podium here in London. This crowd have been treated to quite some opening round. They're in for something even more special once they go racing. In the meantime, let's catch up with one of our clears, Niels Brunsels. It is time for us to get set for a very special moment here in London. We are live for the Longines Global Champions Tour here at the Royal Hospital at Chelsea. It is a city that has witnessed coronations, celebrations and contests that have defined generations. But here beside the Thames at this famous Royal Hospital, it stands with one of the most noble challenges of them all. We are set for the jump-off against the clock. And the sporting pressure to rise. The fences remain immense. The margins have disappeared. Every stride, every turn, every fraction of a second is going to matter. There is €1 million at stake here for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of London. We await the start, just a moment away, with those clears all lined up. It is time for us to look forward to everything that has come and, of course, enjoy what has already been an amazing opening round. It started with a combination that 12 months ago finished on the podium and started today and delivered a clear on Chaco's Lando. Niels Brunsels so carefully, serenely jumping from start to finish. It really was great. Well done from Niels to set the standard. Of course, it means he's first to go. Now, the man that started the day and first in the overall Longines Global Champions Tour standings this year was Abdul Saeed on Wantham Zazu von Klaashofer. They've already had a win this year, but their chance went away early as that fence fell at 4, and disappointingly from Abdul's point of view, he's not able to add to his scores this year. Zil Thomas, the overall series winner last year, currently sitting in 6th. not able to add the points he would have wanted either, as sadly fences fell with Luna van Het Hillyhoff there, and it was a total of 8 at the end of the round for one of the world's top 10. But then came the British star and a former winner here from 2 years ago, but on a horse that he was jumping with in its first 5-star Grand Prix. Harry Charles and Ballypatrick Tiberius certainly gave this British crowd an awful lot to cheer about as he jumped up and down and over the last, and is looking again in the jump-off as his 3rd jump-off in a row here in London. Well, this man has already won 3 times in London. He's now looking to make it 4th, and he'll do so with Hello Folly. Scott Brash, the British legend, is through once again. What can he do this time? It would be quite some story if he was to win 4 at the same venue. I'm not sure that's ever been done before, but Scott has got that chance to do it here. 2nd of the British clear rounds. Then we went to Zoe Hank-Conter, one of the others right up towards the top of the standings at the moment. Disappointingly, though, this plank got in the way of her clear and unfortunately unable to push on. She sat 5th at the start of today. And now we look towards Ben Mayer. Last year he finished in 2nd place. He's got a remarkable track record. He was trying to chase Scott on 3 wins in London, having won here twice before. But Point Break, who came within a fraction of a second last year, on the way into the final line, the pole went down, and with it sadly went Ben's chances of repeating that performance from last year when he chased Checker. Well, it's been an amazing competition so far, and of course that opening clear round was quite some performance at the very beginning from Niels Brunseel. I think we go back to that because of his podium last year and the fact he's now going to have to be first to go in the jump-off as well. What a challenge he has on his hands here this afternoon. But he's got Chacos Lando to take that challenge on with, and it gives us a chance to go and catch up with him down at the warm-up arena right now.
Niels, you were first in today and first to get a clear as well. You made it look pretty easy out there. Well, how did it ride?
Was not so easy. Okay, my horse jumped a great round, so that makes it easier for the rider. As number 1, I had my plan in my head and it worked out well.
How much more do you have to have a solid plan going in when you are first? Because you don't have anyone else to follow.
First thing is you have to know your horse and try to give him the best chances to jump all the fences clear. And I knew exactly where I had to do what, and it worked out.
It's looking like we're getting quite a few faults around the course. How many do you think are going to be joining you in the jump-off? I know we've already got one with Max Weiss out.
I hope one.
How fast can you be?
Not fast enough, I think, if we have a lot in the jump-off.
Have you walked the jump-off? Have you had a moment to look at it?
Yeah, because also if you are number 1, you have to be prepared on everything, and also for the jump-off I made my plan, but we have to see how many clears we will get. And
how tight of a jump-off is it?
Yeah, jump-off is always like jump-off, but it will be everything in depends how many we will have in the jump-off, and if we will have 8, 9 in the jump-off, we will see a crazy nice sport today. If we will have 2 or 3, it will be a little bit less excited.
Good luck.
Thank you.
This jump-up course certainly is one that's going to test the very, very best. As you can see, coming around the twists and turns, there's plenty for the challenge ahead of them. Turning back into these final few, is a big, long stretch. And then one more fence left to go. Over the last, there you have the course against the clock. The twists and turns of the jump off of weight here at the Royal Hospital Chelsea from Iliano Vitsani. What awaits us in this jump off is going to be something rather special. Let's remind you of that start list that will begin, as we know, with Niels Bruynseels. They ended up being more clears than I think he wanted, but Max Weishaupt will be the second. Then Sandra Arpov, two for Germany back-to-back. Harry Charles, Gudrun Petit, Henrik von Eckermann, Dennis Lynch, Scott Brash. Surely Scott will stand a chance of doing it all over again. Maybe, we will see. And then onwards into the second half of the draw, Eduardo Pereira de Menez, followed from Brazil by Germany's Christian Kukuk, who looks to win again. Back-to-back wins in London. Edwina tops Alexander, followed by Manuele Guariano, Michael van der Vleuten and Christian Ullmann. It is time to decide the outcome of that €1 million that we've been looking to award all week. The biggest prize ever to be given out on British soil is up for grabs here for this leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And the first up, the combination that rose all the way through to third here last year, Jack Oslando and Niels Bruynseels, up for setting the standard. What a challenge this is going to be. From the beginning, it is going to have to be foot to the floor. Who wins in London? We are set for the 10th different winner, whatever happens in the 10 legs so far of the LGCT Tour this year. Starting over the postbox. 5 down, and sadly, down goes the second fence. Now, how does he approach it? Surely, with the money on offer, he'll want to keep pushing on as best he can. It gives us a good guided tour of this track, because he, again, has a long run from one end of the arena down to the other. In, out of the double, then the turn back. Now a vertical. This then changes to a parallel. Over the tray, turning right-handed. Final fence to come. All the way with the run to the Longines upright. Up, down, and over the last we go, and it turns out to be a time of 46.92 for Niels as the first to go on Jack Oslando. It gives us a clue, but it doesn't tell us all the story, as he ends up with 1 down and a score of 4. There is more to come. So 46.92, Niels Bruynseels sets things up, but now we look as he walks away to the turn of Maximilian Weishaupt. What are 3 chances for Germany here this afternoon? The very experienced Zucchero HV, this Holstein Stallion by VDL Zarocco Blue. Whoever delivers the first clear will stand with the advantage of being at least able to put the pressure on those that follow. He goes on the 6 as well, but he jumps the little white poles. Now this rollback turn gets away on the angle. Gets away with a little nudge as well. Now again, one end of the arena to the other. You might well open up, but then you need control. Has to sit and wait. Out of the double, turn back. Time is always going to be good. On the angle again. Have to ask. Now he has to push. Now he has to go. This is your one final chance to really make up time and put the pressure on everybody that's yet to come, and that is exactly what he has done. Maximilian Weishaupt. Little pump of the fist from Ludger there, watching on as well. Zucchero HV. Number 1. Is that right for him? Zucchero delivers. Max guiding that ride brilliantly, and the Stallion showing an immense amount of pace on that run to the last. But what a beautiful turn that was, and that's going to be one of the absolute key turns on this course. The parallel to parallel turn, the swing back from the second to the third. He definitely left time on the table, though, because he was quite steady on the way down to the double, but he also wanted to leave it standing. What an opportunity he's given himself. You can see Luca's over the moon with that. But now from Germany, it's the turn of Sandra Oppav. What an opportunity for this lady already. So renowned for her talents, has a chance to show them here at the top level on Prix. Comes out that little bit wider. And giving away a few tenths already. But she's doing what she can, pushing on. She's got to find herself a second, but now again, playing sensible. Sits, waits, finds the stride and jumps in and out of the double. She's managed to find time. It saved her 0.6 of a second. It's a good stride now. How quick can these two run to the last? 43.75 is the time to beat. One more jump left to go for the German star. Up, down to the other side, and she's got into the lead by nearly 0.3 of a second. One of the great all-round talents of equestrian sport. And what a delight it is to watch. Prix. She just made up that time, the way that she was just that little bit more risque coming down to that double. And then she just kept pushing. She got a great forward flowing stride here and to the following fence, the parallel. And it was those little moments and a big, powerful, wide open stride on the run to the last that have pushed her to the top, and Sandra now leads 43.47 ahead of Maximilian Weishout. It is going to be a real race here this afternoon. We're only just getting started. If you haven't already, I suggest you move a little closer to the edge of your seats, because this is going to get quicker. The challenge just gets stronger, and now to the first of 3 former winners in London that start this jump off. And the first of the 2 British challengers. A little bit of a trip into the unknown for Ballypatrick. Tiberius has already shown in their first 5-star Grand Prix here with Harry that they can jump a clear. How fast can they go in the jump off? Harry Charles, Ballypatrick, Tiberius. How tight dare he come? Seen the stride a long way off. A lovely eye from Harry as ever, and it's found him already just the smallest of fractions. But that's what this will come down to. Already, though, he's found another half a second. Needs the power, comes out, lands, turns. He's now 3/4 of a second up. Can he keep it that way on the run to the finish? 2 years ago, he took the win here at the Royal Hospital Chelsea on Sherlock. In 2026, he's trying to win it with Ballypatrick Tiberius. Can he get there? Yes, he can. They're getting quicker and quicker. World-class sport. For €1 million, they are throwing all at it. And Harry Charles now leads the way. 43.29. Boy, as I said before, and I can say it again, cometh the hour, cometh the man. He rises to the occasion when the big classes come every time. Harry seems to have a part to play. 43.29 is the new time to beat. This is turning in to something exceptional in London. Peter Charles, Danny Van Aschen watching on high five. But they know, we know, this is not done yet. Harry has done what he can. Now he has to wait and watch. Gudrun Petit, Belgium. Their second chance sits with one of their fastest female riders, and this is Seacoast Carvalho d'Or. She's already found her way into 3rd earlier. The delight was obvious when she landed the clear in the first round. But she's already giving up time in the second round, but this is a little bit of a stride into the unknown for these two at this level. She had to just be a little careful. Every horse, every rider has to have a slightly different approach. She knows how important a clear round is here this afternoon. To land that double clear will be mission accomplished for Gudrun Petit. She will be delighted. Yes, 3.5 seconds away, but it is clear all the way on what's been a great 3 days of jumping. from Good and Petit. Seacoast Cavalier d'Or goes into 4. 4 clear rounds. Harry Charles leads. Sandra Arpaf in second. Maximilian Weishout in third. And Gooden goes into 4th, and we still are far from done. Harry, there's the leading time. Look how tight it is between the top 3. 43.29, 43.47, 43.75. They've just been taking tiny fractions away from each other. But now, fasten your seatbelts. We still have 9 to go. So good to see these two here. They know how to win the biggest prizes of all in equestrian sport, from World Championships to Olympic golds, and of course a former winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. Now trying to win in London. It's the turn of Henrik von Eckermann. This is King Edward. 43.29 to beat. Comes into the turn. Just having to get it a little deep, but somehow King Edward still has enough spring. It's given away nearly half a second in terms of time. He's going to now have to find something extra. And again, the time just ebbed away. And sadly, down goes the pole. Not to be. One of the big challenges ticks off in terms from Harry's point of view. Coming home on the 8. It takes nothing away from how much of a sensation that combination have been and continue to be for the sport. Henrik von Eckermann, one of the horses of this generation, King Edward. Look at this turn. I mean, how did King Edward get over this parallel? By using all of his mighty might. So Harry Charles still leads. Once this pole had gone, it was assured that he'd stay in front. And it means we're now with 8 left to go in this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in London, and to a combination next up that have already been on the podium this year. And he's been on the podium a couple of times last year. The most experienced horse in this jump-off at 17 years young, Cordial. We saw a 17-year-old Jefferson winning last night. No reason to think Dennis Lynch can't make that magic happen here in the Grand Prix this afternoon. Ireland's one opportunity. Dennis looking at the turns already. He knows the important parts of this course. Now time to put that plan into action. Harry Charles holding top. Dennis picking up the pace. 43.29 to beat. Dennis Lynch and Cordial for Ireland. It's the 6 and looking for the turn already. This is what he knows to be the really important rollback. It's about meeting that fence with momentum, not getting too deep. He's got to try and find now 3/4 of a second. Push on. Come on, Dennis. With how tight it is at the top, even half a second would make the difference between 3 places. It's that tight between the top 3. And at the moment, he's 1.6 away. He's still got 2 to jump. Sadly, it's gone, the chance with it. Will he be faster than the other combination on 4 as he jumps over the final fence? Indeed, 46.28. He would have gone 4th. In the end, he goes 5th with a fence down, and Harry Charles still leads the way. But still to come. 7 of the very best in the sport are going to try and, well, remove that leading position from Harry. Dennis, unfortunately, couldn't quite do that. Great Britain, Brazil, Germany, Australia, Italy, the Netherlands and Germany. That's it in terms of nations for these final 7 combinations. But this is the second of the British challengers, and he's looking to win it for a 4th time. in terms of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of London. One of the Tour's most successful riders, one of Great Britain's most decorated and successful riders ever. And the man that sits at world number 3, of course, his Olympic gold medal teammate from Paris sits ahead of him at the moment in Harry Charles. Now the turn of Scott Brash. He took the big class here last night with his long-standing partner, Hello Jefferson. He takes on the challenge of this €1 million Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix with the horse that he has produced through to the top of the sport. This Scott Brash and Hello Folly. Now into the turn. Oh, he's gone for it. Oh, a little bit of magic. And look at that, 7/10 of a second already. Gets brave, got away with a tap on the way in, and it's giving him a massive advantage. He's nearly a second up at the moment. He's still got 2 fences to go and continues to stretch out his lead. Sanctos, Forever, President have all won it before. Is it to be Hello Folly in 2026? And could it be for a 4th time? Scott Brash steals it away from Harry Charles. And the master moves to the top once more. It isn't done yet, but that was as good as you'll see from those two together. Scott Brash and Hello Folly have given him every chance of making it a record 4th win in London on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and on the day that the biggest prize ever in the UK is on offer, the British star goes to the top of the board. I mean, this was where he got brave, got lucky. That pole popped up, it popped down, but you need that little bit of luck sometimes. And Scott doesn't need a lot of luck because he's just that good. But he knows, Harry knows, we know. As good as that was, it's not necessarily over. I mean, it will take an awful lot of beating, but there are the combinations left in the draw that could take that challenge to Scott. They have in the past, and they will try again. Eduardo Piera de Menez, H5, London time. This is Brazil's opportunity. He's already a second away. Now we've got to remember, Scott's a second clear of Harry. So even if you can't push your way into first place, pushing your way into second place would be quite something here this afternoon. The podium is certainly on offer as it stands for Eduardo. It isn't anymore. 5 clears we remain with. Ends up on a time of 44.26. And goes into 6th place for Brazil there. Eduardo Piera de Menez. The Brazilian challenge unfortunately finishes with that 1 fence going down and nothing changing in terms of the clears. Still the 5 sitting at the top. As we now know, there are 5 left to go. 5 more combinations. What happens next? There is Scott. He knows he's done what he can, and he was so happy. You could see whatever the final result turns into today. Scott will know that he could have asked no more of Folly. Last year, the Olympic champions came to London and managed to beat the best British on that occasion, being Ben Mayer, by a couple of tenths of a second to win the Longines Global Champions Tour 12 months ago in this Grand Prix. No horse has ever come and done it twice. Could that change? And could Christian Kukuk allow history to repeat itself? He was on the podium last time round in Risenbeck. Now he's looking to be back on the top. Christian Kukuk for Germany with Checker 47. Comes into the turn. Just makes it look so simple, and this is going to be tight all the way round. 3/10 of a second at the moment, and he keeps it even Stevens, and look how brave he's getting on the run down to the double. He's asked with his mouth, that little brum brum, just telling Checker to back up and be careful. He's got himself even Stevens. This is coming down to something as close as last year potentially, but at the same time half a second the wrong way. It then does come to the last year's winner, Checker 47, Christian Kukuk, looking to repeat it. Will he get there? Oh, and he does! What an amazing round of jumping and a phenomenal run to the last. Scott has to settle for second for the moment as the crowd cheer for one of the greatest combinations in the sport, the Olympic champions, and now potentially on course for a second win in the Longines Global Champions Tour in London. Will Checker 47, be the first horse to win this Grand Prix title on 2 occasions? Where did that speed come from? That was one of the quickest gallops to an upright at 1.60 m you'll ever see. Nothing Scott can do. Scott knows he'd given it his all. 42.14 versus 42.32. Again, we come back to 2/10 of a second and the lead that Christian has found. It was that last year, but it's Scott in second this year, and Harry back to third, and Ludger, you can't ask for a better man in your corner. But we are moving our attention now to what is a really important round for this lady, but not just for this round, but for the overall tour standings. Jan, her husband, of course, the man behind this great series, watching on. Edwina Tops-Alexander, Caitlin van der Heffink, the lady that sits in third in the overall standings on the league, as we started in London with the 2 riders above her on the overall tour standings not in play in this jump-off, giving her a massive opportunity. And she is chasing the biggest result she can. Turning now. The podium is within reach. And she's not holding back. Gets away with a little tap. And she got a brilliant stride, and now she can keep moving. Can she get herself up onto the podium here? Edwina Tops-Alexander up and over the Longines upright to finish things off on a final time of 43.95. A second and a half away from the lead, and it goes into 6th position. Wow. This is horses and riders doing whatever they can, trying to find every bit of pace that is available to them. Unbelievable riding. The balance that these riders have to keep when riding at this pace to make sure their horses have that chance to jump here is quite sensational. Are we done? Has Christian got this? No, you're not yet. Italy. Emanuele Guardiano next to go. Has he got anything special that he can deliver on Chalus Love PS? For so long, he is known as one of the quickest this sport has. But today, the challenge is that much greater. These are big fences. And he is up against a world-class combination already in the lead. And sadly, down it goes. Christian Kukuk, watching on from the sidelines, knows now he's guaranteed to finish on the podium. Finishes on the 4, 46.06. Manuel Guardiano goes into 9th on a score of 4 for the Italian. We stick with the 7 clear rounds, and Christian Kukuk, Scott Brash and Harry Charles remain the 1, 2, 3 here. But 2 riders left to go, and 2 riders that are left to go that know exactly how to win Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Can they do it again here in London? Christian will be hoping not. 42.14 remains the leading time. Emanuele's won before. It's been a few years, but he won back in Monaco in the past. But the next to go is a combination that have won these Grand Prix before. Christian keeping close watch on everything that's going on. Here comes Michael van der Vleuten, Beauville ZNOP. A combination that have won Olympic medals. They have won Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. They've taken titles in the likes of Madrid and Monaco and Cannes. Can they add London to the list this year? Coming out a little bit wider. He'll given away a little bit of time there, and it's already a second, and I'm not sure how you catch that up on Checker, because if anything, Checker got quicker and quicker as the round unfolded. 1.82 away. Where's this going to bring Michael van der Vleuten and Beauville into the mix? 2 fencers left to jump in London. Christian still watching on. Michael pushing for all his might. Beauville running in towards the last. He looked and found the stride. He jumped the clear. 45.31 on the clock. Goes into 7th place, just behind Edwina and ahead of Gudrun. And that is another challenge out the way. And it's now guaranteed to be Germany's day, because with 1 to go, we know now the only thing that is guaranteed is Germany are going to win. And we also now know Scott Brash is on the podium. Michael trying for all his might with Beauville here in London, but he couldn't quite find enough pace to get himself into the top 6 on this occasion. It means it's down to a battle between 2 of the German stars. Christian, who leads, and the last to go in this €1 million Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Round 10 is about to be decided one way or the other here in London for 2026. It's either Christian's or it's going the way of the last to go, Christian Allman. 8 career wins already in Grand Prix on the LGCT Tour. Can he make it number 9 with untouched LB? 42.14, the time to beat for Christian Allman. Gets into the turn. One end of the arena to the other. The first split comes up 7/10 away. Again, it was the end of the course where Christian got quicker. He's giving away a little more time. It's understandable. Touch certainly doesn't have the same level of experience as Checker, but Untouched is still looking to bring home a clear round in this Grand Prix to wrap things up in London. Congratulations to Christian Allman, but there is the winner, and he's done the double. He's retained the title of winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here in London. Christian Kukuk and Checker 47. We've seen Scott win it back-to-back in the past, but we've never seen the same horse and rider combination win it 2 years in a row, or even win it twice. But we have now. Great effort from Christian there at the end. He ends up going into the top 6. In fact, Germany have 4 of the top 6 placings. It's not been a bad day, though, for Harry Charles and Scott Brash. There's that moment of elation, and there is Ludger to say well done. What a team those two make. I think Christian will be pretty... Christian, there's too many Christians suddenly. Christian Allman will be pretty pleased with the way things have gone with Untouched LB. But let's confirm that final result and say well done. Christian Kukuk, he's done it again by a couple of tenths of a second. He's beaten a Brit, but it's the Brits that finish in 2nd and 3rd this time round. Both former winners themselves. In fact, all former winners in the top 3, Scott and Harry. There's your full and final result. And I think Sandra Arpoff will be absolutely thrilled with Korichi up there in 4th ahead of Max and Christian. But when it comes down to something so small as 42.14 versus 42.32, where do you find that sort of difference? And as we were watching it on the splits, you could see the little ebb and flow, and it was in that run to the last. I mean, it was like lightning. He was looking to break the sound barrier on that run to the last. Christian Kukuk and Checker 47 just literally gave it their all. to find their way back in front. There is Scott, great sportsmanship as ever. But let's have a little look. Let's put the two of them head to head right now here on your screen and find that difference. It's the head to head, the top two in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. The jump off in London came down to the merest of margins, and it started like this. Scott on the right, Christian on the left. And it was in this turn that I think Scott gave himself that little bit of an advantage, because Checker just went out that stride wider. And that allowed Scott in front at the beginning. But then it was always a case of Christian trying to find a way to come back at him. And this was clever. That noise there, it was a noise, just a little bit of communication with Checker that made sure Checker understood just to back up a little bit, despite the fact he was galloping flat out. Then it was this. Watch this for speed on the run to the last. I'm taking nothing away from Folly, but look how fast Checker comes down, and he never backs off. All the way over the line. 0.18 of a second is all it was, but it was enough to make it the double, and the first horse to win twice in London back to back. It is another two-time winner in Christian Koekkoek, but what a brilliant performance that was. Let's hear from Christian, of course, as we get set for the presentation, but we're with him now live in the collecting ring.
Well, Christian, you've just watched the head-to-head, and all I can ask is, how on earth did you do that?
Well, I think it was head-to-head, actually. Yeah, I'm so happy. I won it last year, and it's always a special thing if you win back-to-back, honestly. It was a bit of the same situation. Last year I saw Ben, and I knew I really had to go all in. This year I saw Scott, and I knew again I have to go all in. And these are the moments where this horse is just outstanding and special, because he kind of can smell it and feel it, and then he just does things that are outstanding. I think the way that I rode to the double was unreal, that he still is able to jump that. But that's why he's an Olympic champion, that's why he's one of the best horses in the world, that's why he is who he is. And I'm so unbelievably proud of him that we did that today. And also the whole team behind, you know, it was special weeks for us a little bit, and Ludger, Sophie, my family, they were so supportive behind us, and I think all of that paid out today.
Let's talk about Checker, because him and you as a partnership, you just seem to be getting better and better. How is he feeling?
Yeah, he feels unbelievable. I said that the whole year. The horse still feels like 2-3 years ago. I don't feel his age, really. He's 16, but he's still excited, and he wants to win the classes, and he still does outstanding things, as he showed today. So I'm super happy with him, and very proud.
You're also incredibly calm under a huge amount of pressure. How do you cope with that?
Yeah, I mean, I get that question many times. In the end, I'm used to that. It's also my job. It's part of our business, week in, week out. We have to deal with pressure, so that doesn't really affect me. It's more like it kind of gets me in an extra gear, probably. And Checker is a bit of the same. The more you try to challenge us, the better we get. I think we proved it a couple of times, and I'm so proud and happy today, you can't believe.
Well, listen, I love seeing all the passion come through you, especially with this horse as well. You've also gained that all-important golden ticket to the GC Riyadh playoffs. That must mean a lot too.
Absolutely. I mean, I was close in Riesenbeck. We finished third, and I was already looking to Victor up there, and I thought it would be nice to have that ticket again this year. And we have that in the pocket now, which is on top of the win here today. So that's a very nice thing, and now we look really forward for the next weeks.
Well, listen, it's time to celebrate. Huge congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner of London, Christian Koekkoek.
Thank you very much.
10 rounds so far, 10 winners, but what a special win that was for Christian Koekkoek and Checker 47. Phenomenal combination. What a partnership they make, and what a round that was against the clock. 16 years young, and Checker still showing how amazingly quick he is, becoming the first horse to win twice in London, to make it back-to-back for Christian as well. That turn was something special, but the run from there on in was just like magic. But come the biggest classes, come the biggest combinations. The way he went to this combination, this double, the sound, that little broop broop that you heard was that little moment that enabled Checker to know just to stand back slightly. It allowed Christian to keep pushing. And as he said, it's what makes this horse the Olympic champion that he is. Riding them is one thing, but that understanding that the two of them have built over the years, allowing them to deliver the sorts of rounds that we got to enjoy here today. And that is a big statement as well going forward, because of course we have still plenty to come on the Longines Global Champions Tour this year. How many more can go any quicker than he did to that last fence, because that was one of the fastest runs I've ever seen. Again and again, brilliance is delivered on the Longines Global Champions Tour, and this time it comes again from Checker 47 and Christian Kukuk. The emotion that came out of him was so good to see, and this crowd have been treated to something quite special. And look what it's done to the overall standings. I said Edwina was going to make a big move today, and that she has indeed. She's gone up into second place ahead of Max Kuhner. Christian Ullmann and Scott Brash are starting to make a challenge as well, as Dennis Lynch gets himself into the top 8. But there is a lot of jumping to come, because of course we've still got Valkenswaard in a few weeks, then Vienna, Rome, Cairo and Rabat before we know who will be the overall series champion. Although disappointingly for him, last year's series champion Gilles Thomas drops down but still holds on in the top 10. And there's today's winner, up to 15th in the overall order. There's a lot of points still on offer. We're only now just getting into the sort of drop score range with the way this season's gone, with all these different winners. Nobody's really grasped it at the moment. It's still consistency that's turning into the key, as you've seen from the likes of our top two, Abdul Said and of course Edwina Tops-Alexander. But there we have it. The podium awaits Christian Kukuk for Germany, Scott Brash and Harry Charles for Great Britain. They're heading our way in just a moment. The wonderful sight of the scarlet coats of the Chelsea pensioners, who have been yet again so welcoming and allowing us all in to this arena. Brilliant leader. The crowd on their feet. What a special day. The presentation party are ready as well. I think we're getting set now to welcome in our prize winners. Christian Kukuk leads them in. The smile says it all. What a combination. In second, he'll always be disappointed because he loves to win. But you know what? We all saw that there was nothing more he could have asked of Hello Folly today, and she has delivered him second place. And what a start to their 5-star time together at Grand Prix level. Ballypatrick, Tiberius and Harry Charles. I mean, third place in the Grand Prix. If you'd have said that on Friday, I think he'd have been over the moon. And what another absolute star Harry has in the stable there with that stallion. The 1, 2, 3 here in London for 2026. Well, they're heading over, of course, with their grooms, who should also be congratulated, because this is, of course, a sport that is a team competition in so many respects. It is, yes, the horse and the rider we see doing those magical moments in the arena, but as Christian said, it's the team out the back, it's the team around them, the groom being the leading part of that, who looks after these horses every day of the week. That is so integral. Well, I'm sure Christian will be smiling all the way home. And of course now with that golden ticket secure as well. 10 winners from 10 rounds this season. Well, they're going to be heading up towards the podium now and taking up third place. His second time on the podium in London in the last 3 years, having stood on the top 3 years ago. He heads over in third this year. Well done, Harry Charles. Ballypatrick Tiberius in second place. He's won here 3 times before. He'll have to stay second today. Scott Brash and Hello Folly. But for the second time in a row, it is Christian Kukuk that stands proud in front of the Royal Hospital Chelsea here today with Checker 47, as we prepare then for the national anthem of our winning nation. Represented by Christian Kukuk, it is Germany. amazing moment in sport to see these three as the presentation party move their way up to say congratulations. There in third place, it is Dennis Montecolo, the commercial director of the Longines Global Champions Tour, that presents to Harry Charles. The presentation to be made in second place by General Sir Adrian Bradshaw, Governor of the Royal Hospital Chelsea and former NATO Deputy Supreme Allied Commander Europe, to say well done to Scott Brash for his result in second place. Joining us from our title sponsor, Longines, it is the presentation of that magnificent timepiece by Theodore Dimopolius, the PR manager for Longines UK and Ireland. And then, of course, the trophy to our winner for the second time in London is made by the founder and president of the Longines Global Champions Tour. Jan Tops says congratulations and well done once more to Christian Kukuk. The trophies go up. And the smile. What a beautiful trophy that is as well. Well, with the presentation complete, that means it is indeed champagne time here in London. And Barry Patrick Tiberius, but most of all, congratulations to Christian Kukuk and Checker 47. Once again, London has called, and the Longines Global Champions Tour has delivered sporting excellence in this magnificent arena. 3 centuries sitting beside us, and the wonderful open arms of the Scarlet Coats and the Chelsea pensioners, allowing us this fabulous grounds to use yet again for a tour that continues to deliver round after round. And of course, with Valkenswaard just around the corner, this tour has got a long way to go. The championship is wide open on the run to Rabat at the end of this year, and then of course it'll be the Super Grand Prix and playoffs in Riyadh to follow. But it is lap of honour time. Who will be the winner in Valkenswaard or Vienna or Rome or Cairo or Rabat? You're going to have to tune in to find that one. 10 amazing rounds this season have come to London and delivered us once more with another famous win from Christian Kukuk and Checker 47. World-class sport from the best in the business. It's been a pleasure to watch. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as me. From me, Gareth Jenkins, from us here in London, until the next time, thank you very much.